Okay. And go live, go live, go live, go live. All right, we are live, and I'm having an issue with one of the Givers Guides, the Givers Guides on Facebook. So if you're on Givers Guides on Facebook, sorry, we're not there today. Aloha and welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. We're back, and we are in season 18, kicking off the season with laughter, and we're going to get physical. EnPhysio, and we're going to learn all about that today. Aloha, I'm your host, Savy, the founder of Give Me a Break, and we're a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization that's caring for caregivers. We're here to bring back the joy of caregiving. So here's my statistic for this season. Did you know that someone in America is diagnosed with terminal cancer every 15 seconds? It's a scary thing, isn't it? You want to know something scarier? That means that every 15 seconds, someone in America becomes a caregiver. And no one ever hears about that. They provide silent care in the background and just become invisible. And I'll tell you, it's really a tough statistic to fathom. And so that's why we're here to give them a voice, but also I bet you every single one of them really needs a good laugh. And so this season, I'm bringing back the wonderful, wonderful mindful moment that we do. And we're bringing back the viral sensation and the leader and laughter leader and award-winning empowerment coach, a very, very special person that you all remember from last season. Welcome back, Bianca. Hi, Bianca.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Hey, Savy.
Yes. So you have your job cut out for you because every 15 seconds, someone becomes a caregiver and they need a good laugh. So I'm so happy to have you here, and we're just going to get right to it, and I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. So for everyone who joined us last time I was here, you'll remember that we are breathing in and exhaling with laughter. And we are doing that because laughter helps to boost feel-good chemicals in our system that do good for our bodies. Things like endorphins, known as the happy hormone, serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer, oxytocin, which is known as the love chemical, and dopamine, which is essential for motivation. At the same time, laughter reduces stress chemicals like cortisol in our bodies, and you and I know as carers, we need that reset sometimes, maybe even multiple times a day. So very simple start to the season, start to the laughter. Even if you've never done it before, we are going to breathe in and we're going to sigh out. Breathe in, sigh out. This time we're going to break that sigh in two. We're going to break it in four this time, like we're chopping up the sigh. Breathing in. Chop it up, let's go for six. Don't laugh yet, don't laugh yet. Breathing in. Let's chop it. Breathing in. Letting the laughter out. Breathing in nice and deep through the nose into the belly. And letting it out. Good. We're going to breathe in. We're going to laugh with no volume. Good. Nice deep breath in. Nice audible sigh out. Another one like that. You might feel your heart starting to race. And we're going to do a little laughter. Sometimes when we're told to not laugh, we want to laugh more. Breathing in. Breathing in. And choosing to laugh. Nice. One more. Good. We are going to stretch. Inhale and reach your arms up high. Stretching, stretching, stretching your spine. Coming up on tippy toes if you can, if you're standing, reaching up. And breathing. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, reaching up. Looking up, smiling. This positive posture brings positive psychology. And exhaling down. Inhaling up, looking up, reaching up, stretching, smiling, and laughing down. Inhaling up, stretching, smiling, feeling your body alive, laughing down. And one more. Both arms, if you've got them available, reach them up and laughing down. Well done for choosing to laugh today, for prioritizing your well-being and sharing this mindful moment with me. If you'd love to find me online, you can find me on YouTube. My name is Bianca Spears. You can also download the Laughly app, Laughlhy. It's an app where you can laugh with me or by yourself with a laugh-o-meter. It's super, super fun.
And there it is, right there on the screen. I love the Laughly app, and please download the app. It's a wonderful way to keep your laughter going. Thank you so much, Bianca. I didn't realize just how much I missed that laugh. And I think you're almost addictive. And I wanted to point out that, we are here in Hawaii, but Bianca's actually in Australia, which is why you're wearing the heavy sweater. It's your winter now, isn't it?
It's my winter, and I don't know if you can hear the kookaburras laughing at the moment.
I love it. That's so great. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us. I can't wait till next week.
Thank you so much. Aloha, everyone. See you next time.
Bye. Aloha.
Bye.
Okay, so you guys, that's Bianca Spears, and she is just amazing, and she can help you to keep laughing. Don't take laughter lightly. And jump into laughter with everything you have, because it just does so much for yourself. And I really love the arms up and then down again, and just bringing all that positivity into you. So thank you so much for that, Bianca. That's what we do here at Give Me a Break. We're here to support you. We're here to support all the caregivers, and we see you. We see you, and we're here to support you. So, we need those donations, by the way, to keep doing what we're doing. And we're encouraging everyone to become a monthly donor. And if you can do that, your monthly donation will help us to continue doing all the work we're doing with caregivers, and maybe even beyond that, to help caregivers to survive, to help the caregivers be seen, and do things like laughter and all the other wonderful things that we do to support them. So you'll see right there on the screen, there's a QR code at the top corner of the screen there. Just use that QR code and become a monthly donor now. You can make a difference to the invisible and the unsupported caregivers. And all of our services, we do not charge for any of our services. They are all free. And we do what we do because we do it for caregivers and no one else. And so if you are one of those who went from calm to chaos and need support, of course, that's what caregivers do. Check out our website and go to gab808.org for more information. And this will actually, our website's a great font of information. And if you go to our website, you can check it out, and you'll see there's a lot more information there, a lot more of what we're doing. And of course, you can go on there and become a monthly donor as well. And if you need more information than that, just email us at info@gab808.org. And we'll do what we can to help you, to get you connected to resources and to community. And speaking of community, Give Me a Break has our weekly, and not bi-weekly, not monthly, we have our weekly support sessions. Our weekly support sessions are online and for everyone, whether you're caregiving now or were caregiving or think it's coming. And we provide education and a safe space for caregivers. It's free. Again, we don't charge for that. So it's totally affordable, and it's online. So it's really easy to join us every evening at 8 p.m. And just put in the Zoom meeting ID 808-754-3787. And if not, you can always go on to our website and click on from there too. So make sure that you're connected. You want to get connected to community and know that you're not alone. And speaking of me not being alone today, I have my wonderful co-host here, Lani Almanza, and there we go. I'm trying to click away. Here we go. There's Lani. Hi. And she is not only the COO for Give Me a Break, and also the founder and owner of her own wellness company, Alakai Associates. But also, and I'm so proud of my sister from another mister, who published, and we talked about your first book, and now that's Under a Full Moon and a Guiding Star. And now you have your second book, and we'll talk about that a little later as well. But I couldn't be any more proud of you and so happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't believe we're in season 18. My gosh.
Time does fly, doesn't it? I was watching a popular local cooking show. I'm not going to say the name because, and they were like, here we are in season 9. And I'm going, go get back, man. We're in 18. You got to catch up, So I was like, yeah, but this is the drive we have to connect caregivers to resources. And that's what we do. I'll tell you.
Over the years, we've had some amazing guests on the show from all versions of caregiving and from around the world, from the Netherlands to Australia.
Yeah.
So,
and right here locally in Hawaii too. So the nice thing, of course, is that, what we do is we connect caregivers with resources on the show. And we also do that through our Givers Guides magazine. And that this resource is wonderful because it's online, and no caregiver could walk around with a magazine all the time, but you could be sitting in the doctor's office and you could be reading a magazine that was published just for you, for caregivers, by caregivers. And this is the Giver's Guide issue for June. It's Men's Health Month, so it's all about you guys. And that's my dad right there. So we're honoring dads, and it's Dad's Day, and so I couldn't help but put my dad on the cover, and Lani actually has a great article about her dad in there. We all wrote some wonderful articles about our dads, and it's just a great issue. And there's also a 30-day men's fitness challenge. So we want all of our guys to do that fitness challenge because you could win a wellness gift. So, check it out, but you got to subscribe to get it. So I'm not subscribed. Sorry. There we go. Messing up again. You make a donation of $25 or more, and automatically you will get 12 issues as our mahalo gift. So that's how you get the magazine. And again, all of that goes to help caregivers and just pay the bills and then help the caregivers, right? And this helps us to keep doing what we're doing. And it is tax deductible, by the way. So that's a good thing. All right, Dan, I'm taking you off the screen. Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say, in regards to Men's Health Month and this issue, is that while we focus on men's health during the month of June with Father's Day, it's becoming, they're becoming much more of a larger demographic for caregivers.
Yeah.
Before it was, maybe 70-30, 60-40, with the larger portion being women. But men of all ages are increasingly becoming caregivers for family members, children, elderly, or even their spouse or their partner who might have an illness. So we really want to recognize that men have a very prominent place in the caregiving journey.
Yeah, they do. And it's almost 50-50. It actually went up to 45% for male caregivers. And now the men are very quiet about what they're doing. So, there's a lot that aren't accounted for. And I would venture to say that we're just about there. And so, kudos to them, because it's not easy. I was just talking with one of our caregivers. That's a guy that comes onto our sessions, and he takes care of his 99-year-old mother, and is just in silence about it. And it's not easy. It's very difficult. And so we want to make sure that we're always addressing the needs of any caregiver, regardless of what situation you're in or what type of caregiver you are. And there are a lot of young caregivers now too, and you might not realize you're a caregiver, but if you're caring for another human being, you're a caregiver. Yep. So that's why we do, and we got a lot of work to do, and we're going to keep doing it until we start getting more support, and that we start getting people to notice that caregivers need support. And with that, we also have our male guest today. And we're going to get EnPhysio, and our guest today is the Director of Marketing and Business Development for EnPhysio Health. So please welcome David Hrobochak. Hello, David. Welcome. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, gosh, I'm so excited to have you here.
I moved into my niece's bedroom so we didn't have to hear all the airplanes flying.
Oh, is that what you did? I love it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so when we did a sound check earlier, there was airplanes flying over him, and we could hear the airplanes. So thank you for doing that. That's awesome. I appreciate it, because I really feel that what you have to share with us today is so important. But before we do that, please tell us your caregiving journey, your story.
So my story, I have a personal connection, like most people do, with aging parents. My mom got diagnosed with Alzheimer's at a very young age. Like, she was diagnosed at 55, and man, she did all the clinical research. We did all the stuff that you're supposed to do. And what the medication did was it slowed down the disease. So we ended up caregiving, me and my wife, for about 17 years for my mom, until she finally went home. And I'll tell you, the resources back then, even in comparison to now, are definitely, they're blooming, they're blossoming. So this is my story. We've taken care of my dad, who had chronic kidney disease, and just being able to manage appointments and work was tough.
Yeah.
So that's why I do what I do, and I can sleep well at night.
Yeah. Well, and let's talk about that. I'm sure that your journey had an effect on what you do today. I know you have a background in clinical case management, and you've also built relationships with a lot of different case managers and neurologists and orthopedists. But, let's talk about EnPhysio Health and how you ended up where you are, because I know your journey definitely got you there, and we want to know more about what you do.
I think as you get older, the why becomes more important and not the money behind it, right?
Yeah.
And you got to look at the money as the byproduct of what you do, because if you enjoy what you do, it's not work.
Yeah.
And I wake up every day, and my wife says I have no life, but it's meaningful to me because I'm always picking up the phone, looking out for families. Geez, man, I'm doing fall prevention trainings at all senior living facilities, because this is a resource even doctors don't know about, especially on this island. It's been on the mainland for a few years, but not here.
Lani, David's kind of the male version of me. It's like I'm always actively doing things, even when I'm supposed to be getting surgery tomorrow. I'm doing this show, so we'll talk about that more later. But yeah, and that's David, and that's why when I met him, I said, not only does he need to be on the show just because of who he is and the heart he has, but because a lot of people don't know about EnPhysio Health, and what you do is amazing. I mean, more people know about what you do.
Well, I just wanted to say that when he mentioned about, keeping track of appointments and getting elderly parents to appointments, I've been there, and that is a tough road. Scheduling and the driving and keeping track of not just their appointments, but their medications. And so to have someone like you who could bring the services to them, let's make sure that people know about that.
It's like every event I'm at or everything I'm doing, I always see David there. I love it. So, but tell us about EnPhysio Health. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how this works.
So the meat and potatoes of it is, there's outpatient physical therapy everywhere. There's wait lists everywhere. We are the largest on Oahu. We're outpatient on wheels. What does that mean? That means that we work with all the doctors. In order for insurance to cover the cost, we got to follow the laws. We get the referral and everything so that they can be covered. And always on the first appointment, it's an initial assessment. So we want to see what their goals are. And ultimately, we need to make sure that they're comfortable with our therapist coming into their home because it's their environment, right? It's just not some clinic. We're coming into their house. But with insurance, that's the goal. We utilize secondary because we work with a lot of retired state and federal workers that have had the HMSA retirement, and we always utilize that. So the goal is that we have realistic expectations, and we can sit down with the patients and help them achieve their goals. We bring mom and we bring sisters, any family members that want to become active participants in mom or dad's recovery there as well. So everyone is welcome to come. It's amazing.
It is. That's more of a one-on-one, and that attention to bring family in. And I mean, the alternative choice is to send them to rehab somewhere. And, it's kind of a cold environment. I don't have anything against rehab centers. I know they're doing the best that they can. And I know many, many people who work at those, but, someone like my mom would have never survived that, especially when they have dementia or they're going through different things mentally, and so, and I had people that did come to the house, they were sent through the hospice, but, it was so nice to have somebody come there and sort of sit and talk with her and work with her. And that's really the difference, I think, to what you're doing as well. And you're not just doing physical therapy, you help with falls prevention as well, right?
We do an in-home safety assessment. That's a big one because you can do physical therapy all you need to in a clinic setting, but our goal is to get into the patient's home where they live, to look at those fall risks, to say, hey, why doesn't your shower have a grab bar in it? And just, looking at all those familiar trip hazards to prevent those future injuries.
Yeah.
Because
it's not will they fall, it's how many times did they fall till the last fall, right? That was my mom, and she became bedridden, right? And that's when everything got really tough. And
the numbers don't lie. Savy, we're part of the national or the Hawaii Fall Prevention Association, and that common number of 1 in 4 of us will fall every year for the rest of our life.
That's scary.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
There's a problem. Yeah. So that's why I do the trainings and
I just with my husband had surgeries last year, and I remember that after one of them, they wanted to send him home like 5 hours, and I said, I'm not taking him home because he weighs 250 pounds and he's a foot taller than me. And if he falls, I am not going to be able to get him up. And by the time emergency vehicles get there, something could be really wrong. So I'm not taking him home just yet.
You got to be your own best advocate.
Yeah.
Yep. And now you know there's you know, for any other situation, at least we know there's a mobile now that you can actually have someone come to the home. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
You don't have to
with your
qualify
insurance.
for it. Sorry, Savvy. I'm just so passionate, just like
God, go for it.
the biggest thing is like people typically, people are like, oh, I've had a therapist come to my house, but if we're dealing with Kapuna or somebody on Medicare, we bill the Medicare Part B aspect. That's why I hit the nail on the head and I say we're outpatient on wheels. So there's no homebound restriction that the patient has to meet. And that's so we can get our services out to more people. And there's no silly qualifications, and it's a long-term solution.
Yeah. So how many therapists do you have?
We have over 20 and growing. And Outer Island presence is starting as well. And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
The networks and the families we've impacted. We've actually just started a new partnership with integrated care, and they also go to the house because they believe in the same vision we do, where we can bring care, whether it's PCPs, psychiatric care, and physical therapy, all to the house.
Wow.
And insurance covers it.
Wow. And you guys, in David's free time, he also volunteers at senior living centers and does educational programs and talks all about PD resources. And like I said, I just run into him everywhere. So I know he's just out there with passion. And passion missions are really something rare in the world today. And so when I find somebody who can match my passion for a mission, I definitely had to have you on the show. Lani's cracking up. She's like, oh yeah, that's a lot, but what else? What would you like to share today before we wrap up? And don't want to miss anything because I know there's a lot.
What do I want to share in the end of it? Somebody's going to need physical therapy at some time. It might not be you. It might not be someone that you know right now, but it will be. So you got to use us as a resource. You have to be your own advocate, right? Yeah. So, movement is medicine. Honestly, that's why we've teamed up with integrated care, the aspect, because as you get older, there's a lot of psychiatric changes as well that happen. And when we combine all these modalities, it just makes for quality of life. And that's what it's all about.
Well, it's really addressing the whole person,
right,
and not just the injury or the illness.
You nailed
My mother
it.
used to always say, getting old sucks.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to with people like
with somebody like your organization, with what you're doing, David, it sure makes it a lot better. And, I have to go in tomorrow for gallbladder surgery. I've had like an attack of the gallbladder and have it removed now. And maybe I'll be calling you on Friday for some PT.
You never know. We're always the last to find out.
I know.
That's what life has proven to us. It never goes like we think.
Yep. We, and I'm you guys know me. I'm like, this power woman that runs around. And so for me to accept the fact that I have to slow down has been really rough. I might need some emotional support too.
I got you covered, Savvy.
I love that. Thank you so much, you guys. You can contact David. Just go to EnPhysioHealth.com and you can contact them there, get all the information that you need, and definitely see all the services that they offer. It's EnPhysio, SIO health.com, right on the screen there. So thank you so much for sharing and for sharing your story. I think it's so important that we recognize caregiver stories as well. So thank you for that and for sharing what you do and coming on today. Really appreciate it,
for
David.
What you do too, Savvy, because you're doing stuff. We're all making moves, and we're unstoppable. You just have to be driven.
There shouldn't be any caregiver suffering, and we're going to conquer the world. All right. Thanks, David.
Thank you
Love
for
you.
having me.
Aloha.
Aloha. Wow. Yeah. So you can, again, you can contact David. Just go to EnPhysioHealth.com and get all the information you need. And know that you're in the hands of a fellow caregiver. That's how we understand, right? Okay. So with that, I have a big announcement. Yeah. Do you need a break? I bet every caregiver is going, yeah. Well, coming up on the 22nd of June, and I'll be talking about it until then, is our caregiver garden retreat. So we're doing a short little from 10 to 1 at the Lani Almanza Botanical Gardens, and we're having a caregiver garden retreat. We'll be doing some meditation, some grounding, all kinds of wonderful things. In fact, Lani, you're going to be there as well. And you're going to be doing, why don't you share some of the things you'll be doing?
Well, one of the things that I'll be doing is an exercise that, because we're in this beautiful garden space, connecting our senses, connecting with our senses, and connecting to that place. And so it's a little bit of a meditative exercise, but really getting in tune with how important the elements and our senses are to our well-being.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. So just go to our website, gab808.org/retreat, and you can register. So I didn't even put a banner for that. What am I doing here? You can tell I'm not well. I know I'll make one in just a second and flash it on the screen for you guys. But just, it's GAB, give me a break, 808, right? GAB808.org and /retreat. So check it out, register. And if not, then just show up. Lani Almanza Gardens is right off of Kuakini. There's parking. We're going to meet in the parking lot at about 10 minutes to 10. So at 9:50, and we're going to do a quick little stroll through the gardens. So we'll have a quick little strolling, and then we'll go and we'll settle in one spot, bring a sack lunch. Let me put that back up there right now. There we go. So just bring your own little sack lunch, some water, sunscreen if you need it, bug spray if you need it, and a chair if you can't sit on the ground. And just be comfortable and relax and come and just spend a little bit of time away and get a break. This doesn't cost anything. It's a free event. So join us. And there's that website right there, gab808.org/retreat, and you can register for that. Hope to see you all there. It's just a moment of time for us to get away out in nature and reground ourselves, which is really important. We'll be having our yearly retreat in August again this year, and you'll hear more about that as well. Anyway, boy, this season is really focused on awareness for caregivers and letting everyone know that we are here.
We are here. We are here.
We are here. We are here. We are here. And, we've been doing our care receiving plan workshops that have been going really well. And we've had a great response to it. And we have a new one coming up. Let's see, care receiving. There's care receiving. So our care receiving workshops are an 8-part series that cover all aspects of a plan that you need to prepare to be taken care of. Okay. We're thrown into chaos now as caregivers, and we don't think about us needing care at one point. And I'll tell you that this whole thing coming up with my gallbladder shifted the energy of my home, because I'm the caregiver. I care for everyone. And all of a sudden, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even find something to eat. I couldn't even cook. And I've been wonderfully taken care of now. And I didn't realize that time would come that I needed to be taken care of. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
If you don't have a care receiving plan in place, you'll be taken care of the way anyone else sees fit to do it. And so check out our workshops. They're coming up in September and October. So in July, we'll be announcing those dates. And you can also go on our website and register now if you want. It's just gab808.org/CRP. And you can just go ahead and register ahead of time, but it begins in September.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, at the last session of the series that I participate or present in, this past Saturday, was able to bring a close friend who lives in Colorado. And when she saw just the outline of the care receiving plan, she was flabbergasted and said, I wish I had had this, not just for herself, but also for her family members, through caregiving of her parents, her mother and her father, and to really give. She's got 9 sisters, and to have everybody working from the same framework, she said, would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So it's really important,
It covers everything, it just covers everything you could possibly think you had to go through when you were caring for someone else that you didn't have, even all the decisions you had to make that you didn't know about, the things that cause dissension in families. It covers all of that. It's all planned out, down to the toothpaste that you want.
to know that once you have, and even if you don't do every single line of the plan, to know that you have at least a start for people to have conversations with you about what it is that you want if you're the one that's needing care. And I'll never forget my daughter, after we had to move my parents out of their home into a assisted living, and sell most of their belongings to help pay for that. My daughter came home one day and very sternly told me and my husband, we better have our together, because she saw the stress that it put on not just me and my parents, but the rest of the family, my siblings, their extended families. And she said, I don't want to have to go through that. And I said, I hear you loud and clear. And from that point on, we have been constantly planning and updating the plan. And I think that's an important part for people to remember, is that once you have it down, things can change.
You just update it. Yeah. Then it's just an update, but it's all in one place and you have everything and you've already had discussions and then you just update it. And that's the most wonderful thing, because you never know what can happen. Right. And I always tell people, you can get hit by a bus and then maybe you don't need your care receiving, but there's parts in the plan that talk about all of your arrangements and what to do. I didn't know what to do for my parents. I went through so much grief and heartache, and that can be avoided if you know what you're doing is what somebody wants.
Well, just in your recent situation, you never expected for your gallbladder to revolt, and just to have enough of the plan already together that your family members know what to do. Yes. I mean, if you're rushed off to ER, a lot of different things start to happen. A lot of different things start to fall into place. And if you don't have a plan, like you said, somebody else is making the decisions for what happens next.
Yeah. And worry is a killer. Worry is a silent killer in your body. It goes into your organs. And I was just talking to someone about this, and I said, I've been really feeling a lot of guilt lately that I've been trying to release from my body. And I've been going through meditations to release this guilt over my mother's passing. And, and just taking care of her and all the things I need to do and didn't do and wanted to do and couldn't do. And I know that I was holding that. And I'm wondering if it didn't all settle in my gallbladder. Right? Because that's where all of that settles. It settles in your organs. And so I almost feel like taking it out is going to be the only other way I can release some of it now and release some of that guilt out of my body. Right. But it's so funny. We have these removable organs. What the hell is that?
And it's like maybe that's why they're there, to kind of pick up on these random things that we aren't aware are infecting our body. And that's, it's interesting that the word disease is actually dis-ease. And so when you're worrying, like you said, your body is internalizing that into your organs, into your cells, and it's going to find a way to present itself to get out. So maybe
there you go, right? And I teach people not to worry, and here I am. So, we all do it, and it's all going to happen. But the more planned you are, the less worry you'll get. You'll still worry, but it'll be a lot less. And it takes that worry out of whoever's going to care for you.
And
So,
it really is part of self-care.
yes.
It really
Yes.
comes down to that. Because if you're not worrying, you can breathe.
Yes. And then you can do things to take care of yourself better. And I just hope we change that landscape moving forward, right? There's not a lot we can do now without programs and funding, but we can change the landscape in these workshops to start preparing for care receiving. And so that we can do on our own, and we can teach people to do the right things. And so that's what it's all about. And I hope you can make it to our next session. It'll be starting in September, and in our July shows, we'll be talking about it more. And we do have it already posted on our website at gab808.org/CRP. So check that out, register, and please be part of what we're doing because you need this, and we're doing it for you. All right. Great. So also let's talk about you, because you've been really busy, and I want to talk about your new book. I just am so, like I said, you did your first book, and then you released your second book, and I just, my heart of congratulations to you. What awesome accomplishments you've been doing and making, and a great resource for caregivers. So just talk about your book a little bit.
Yeah, so the first book was really out of my caregiving journey with my son Jacob, and that book came to life after almost 30 years, a lot of journal writing, and so when people started asking me about a second book, I was like, it took 30 years to give birth to this baby. I think I'm done. I think one is done, but it really started to come into view. This book started to come into view when I read something that asked if I was willing to go beyond. And I thought, beyond what? At this point in my life, my first book was kind of my life story and the lessons learned about self-care. And what did I have to talk about next? And what really started to come together was, how do I continue on my own journey and guide people on theirs as well? And so it takes the perspective of the 4 cardinal directions and the 4 seasons and the elements connected to each of those, and how those reflect on different points and different times of our life. And so it really becomes a guidebook for life's journey. And it's a little bit different from the first one, because this one is more reflective. There's blank pages if you want to actually use it as a journal, reflection questions, and a little bit of connection back to the lessons of the first one about self-care, continuing to implement those as we go beyond our own horizons and past the limits and boundaries that we might put on ourselves. So yeah, I'm really excited about the framework that this book is really providing to help guide people on their journeys. And sometimes it's a journey back to themselves, especially with caregivers, caregivers of all kinds. And I particularly with some women right now talking about how, as an eldest child, as eldest daughter, as a sister, wife, mother, grandmother, professional, in all of those roles, we often lose ourselves, who we are, our authentic self. And so this second book really is to help guide women and men, but really from my experience, to reconnect with themselves, body, mind, and spirit. And what does that look like now and going forward?
Yeah. And that I was just talking, I just made a presentation yesterday, and that was kind of one of the things I talked about, was how caregiving just sort of strips you. It just strips you down to your core, and you can become very, you lose your sense of strength, of who you are. And it just takes you down to your core, and to try and be that person you always were before, there has to be a coming back to that.
Yeah.
you know, and you feel like you failed, you're feeling grief, you're feeling frustration, and
We're just lost,
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes it's not the caregiving of someone injured or ill, but if that was your profession, like I was talking to a woman where she has been a nurse her whole professional career and actually run departments at, hospitals. And when she retired, she said it really hit her that without that
Yeah.
role and title, she wasn't sure who she was anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so finding her way back to herself, she was like, I need some guidance. I don't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
I don't know where to look for myself.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love your book. It's a great way for you to find your way back, everyone. And, it's called Beyond the Horizon, a guide for life's journey. So I'm so honored to know someone like you who has that strength to put a book out, because that takes a lot to reveal yourself that way as well. And it is available on Amazon, but also you can go to Lani's wellness company, which is alakaiassociates.com, and get your copy of the book. And also, I'm sure we can talk her into reading a couple of passages at our garden retreat as well. Right, Lani?
Yeah.
Talk about putting you on the spot there.
Yeah.
But
well, and I would like to say, if caregivers want to connect with me or follow me, that's really the focus of what my Alakai Associates is about, is wellness and self-care, and really finding your way back to yourself.
Yeah. And boy, do we need that. So thank you so much for doing that. So yeah, this is what the Caring Caregiver Show is all about, folks. There's no other show like this for caregivers. And we want to connect you to the resources that are out there that not only save your life, but give you guidance and support that you can provide to yourself even, right? And help you be strong through it. And as a reminder, the show is brought to you by Give Me a Break and Givers Guides Online Magazine. So please make that donation. Please become a monthly donor. It helps us to be able to continue to keep going. And honestly, we're all volunteers. So none of that's going into anyone's pockets. It's really going to the bills and to the caregivers directly, and to the programs that we put up for caregivers. So use that QR code up there, and become a monthly donor today. We really do appreciate it.
Well, and I want to say before we finish up here is, we also invite our guests, our trusted partners, to help us sponsor the show. That there's an opportunity for you to help sponsor the show. So please contact Savy if that's something that you'd like to do, because then you get noticed on not just the 8 weeks of the show, but every platform that it goes to.
Yeah.
And even in the off season, when we replay everything, you get all of that exposure again. So
we're actually streaming live on 7 different platforms right now. And so with all of our platforms combined, we have well over 4,000 followers. And so, that might not seem like a lot to you, but to us, that means that we're possibly saving 4,000 caregiver lives. So that means a lot to us. Well, that's our first episode. Thank you, Lani, for that. And this season is just going to get better and better. We'll have Bianca back next week to share more laughter with us. And I love that quiet laughter. You all know me, I laugh loud. So for me to hold it in just made me actually laugh even harder. And I feel so much better for it. And thank you to David with EnPhysio Health. And please check him out on EnPhysioHealth.com. And also, Lani, thank you so much for being here. And remember that Lani's not just part of what we do with Give Me a Break. She also has her own wellness company called Alakai Associates, and you can find her on alakaiassociates.com. And again, that's why we're here. We're here to connect you with resources, and your wellness and survival is the goal. All right. So you don't want to miss a single show. Next week, we will be having, let me take that off. Sorry. And next week, we'll be having Sue Lloyd Davies on, and she we'll be learning all about Pinky's Turnabout. I know that's interesting, but that's what she has, a book called Pinky's Turnabout. And we're going to talk to her next week. And she's just a wonderful person and caregiver. So don't miss it. Put it a calendar reminder right now, every Wednesday live on whichever platform you're watching. 7 of them to choose from, to 12 noon Hawaii time. We're always here. And you can always check out our YouTube channel. If you missed any live, there's always there. Just go to our YouTube channel, which is at Gimme a Break 808/streams. And check out all of our past shows as well. A lot of great information there.
Oh,
So, yeah.
A plethora of
Yes.
information and resources. And, if you can't find, if you're in the search and you really can't find what you need, contact us at info at 808 at gab808.org.
Yeah.
So that we can make sure that you find the resources you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
'cause
You're not alone. You're not alone. We're here.
A lot.
Yeah. And we're here. And we're a community. We're available on podcasts. So every show after is available on podcasts, and you can just go to gab808.org/CCS that will connect you to our podcasts, or just go to any podcast and type in Caring Caregiver Show and you'll find us. But the most important thing is to just stay connected. Don't get isolated. We're here to make 2026 a year filled with joy and kindness. So in the meantime, thank you, Lani, for being on. And remember to breathe. And here's hoping that you're finding more joy in caregiving every week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in, and always be kind to yourself, and especially those who are caring.
And
Aloha.
you be kind to you.
I will. Thank you. Aloha, everyone.